Hi, welcome to Design It with Tammie Gibbs. I'm Tammie, and today we're going to be having a lot of fun because I'm going to be exploring the AI Artist Playbook, mastering character creation, body language, and emotions. And we are going to be doing a little bit of a monster mashup. I thought it would be really fun since we're kind of around that costume. I know that today is officially Halloween, which I don't do a whole lot with, but monsters are kind of be kind of cute and fun. So we're going to do some non-spooky um, monster mashup kind of thing. I remember when I was a little girl, I used to love the song about the flying purple people eater. Don't ask me why, but that was one of my favorite songs, the flying purple people eater. I had little a record and a little record player, and I would play that song and several other little monster mash kind of little songs over and over again. I've probably dated myself because most of you probably don't remember having a physical record and not a cassette tape or a CD, which is kind of funny because a CD is a similar kind of we kind of made the roads. We went through the 8-track tapes, and then we went through the cassette tapes, and then we have the CDs, and now everything's just flying around out in the cloud, and it's kind of hard to capture it sometimes. But anyway, we're going to be capturing some really fun little monsters, and I'm just going to show you how versatile this playbook is and how you can apply it to lots of things, not just people. I have had questions about, I do clip art, how can I use this? Well, this is going to show you how you can use it in clip art. And I know that it does have a whole little section about animals, but what I'm going to do today is show you that you don't have to stay in that section for things like this. You can jump into the regular human section, and you can grab characteristics and things from those areas as well. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's jump in. We're in Artistly 6, and we are going to be, I'm just going to pop over here because I've already kind of got us started. So let me just go back here and show you kind of where I started. So I started off with just creating a basic character. Now, this is just a little artistly tip because they do have that fair use limit per day. I don't know, it's 400, maybe more. Um, I don't run into it that often, and I do a lot of images. But anyway, let me just remind you also of one thing. So, if you are creating multiple images at one time, which lots of us do because we were trying to do large packs of clip art very quickly. However, doing it that way does, use up your allotments, per day a lot faster. And there's actually a new feature, and I'm going to be doing some videos later on it. It's an ad creator kind of thing. Let's see what that is called. Just it's easy enough to pop in there and look. I believe it's all the way over here. Nope, it's in this one, ad creator. This one right here. And I'm not going to do it, but let me just pick a image. Let's just do this image. Okay. So just so it'll show you how many you can literally have it to do. Oh, goodness. 25 images at one time. But just think about when you're doing that many at one time, it is going to be using your images a lot. You're going to go through your images a lot faster. I think that's why a lot of people have all suddenly started running into the ceiling on the daily limits, is because Artistly has opened it up and is now allowing you to use multiple, do a lot of multiple generation. So just keep that in mind. I have started doing one at a time to perfect my images, and then I can go to doing multiples once I get that image down. I apologize. Yawning. Okay, sorry about that. I'm sure I made you yawn, but anyway. Okay, so we're going to go back over here now to our personal designs. And I'm going to be going at this a couple of different ways. So anyway, let's go back to where I started. And this was the first little monster I created. And he was just a basic monster. I just said a funny and colorful shaggy alien monster. And he's cute. He's cute. But I want to show you how you can add different characteristics along the way and develop your character. So then what I did was I went in and I added that with hair in a short textured crop, tousled fringe, which is inside the new playbook for creating characters. And then we got this cropped hairstyle on here. We got a different monster. So my monster has evolved as I have added things. So then what I did was I went in and added round face and childlike energy. And it gave me a different monster. Now, the cool thing about this and doing it in stages is not only am I creating one monster, I'm creating a whole bunch of monsters. So for these four, if I had just said make four monsters, I would have got four. They'd have been similar or whatever. But now that I have these, I can go back in and I can actually, generate multiples of these particular ones. And I can even, let's do this one and let me show you. I can change the aspect ratio. I can go over here in the volume 2 and let's just say we want to select, these are the sci-fi and futuristic fashion clip art. And I had mentioned earlier that these two books, the clip art and, the one that has all of the fashion clip art in it, are going to pair together very, very well. If you already have that, you're already leaps ahead of somebody that doesn't have both copies, the character creation one and the one that has the fashion in it. And that volume 2 is just gold. I mean, it has so much more than just that, but that is a huge thing, is that huge database, or that huge, not database, that huge resource for fashion things. So let's just say that we want to dress him in cyberpunk fashion here. We'll grab this and go back in, and we're just gonna wearing, put that little qualifier word in there, cyberpunk fashion. And we're just going to say with neon lights, sleek black textures, and a high tech, and then as in high tech streetwear. And we're going to see what we get. Now, it's probably not going to give us the same monster, but it should be similar. So it's a similar look and feel here. You see how that changed up? We've got the hairstyle, the attitude of the steampunk. Okay. So now what we can do, though, if we wanted that particular monster, which is this one, what we can do if we want that one and we want to dress it specifically, we love that look, that character. So if you say, oh, that's my character for my next little storybook or whatever. So if you're not going to use it for clip art, then what you can do is go over to the AI design assistants. We pull it in to the human stylizer. So we're going to go right here and grab our character. And then we're going to say dress this character in, and then we're going to paste this. And instead of style, let's just replace that with, fashion and style. And then we're going to say isolate against a white background. Okay. And I'm going to have more to say. I forgot to change the aspect ratio, but we'll see what this does. But I started with the simplest of phrase, just trying to get a monster, get it thinking in the right direction. There we go. There is our character now dressed in this leather jacket with the little neon here. So that's the way that you can begin to actually use the same character. Now, it did darken the pink hair, so if we were going to go back in there, we would say keep this character exactly the same, just change the clothing. So, and then also if we were going to, we could tell it to, we could go back here. We want to use that one again. We'll go over here to stylizer. And we're going to choose this one and say, keep character the same, but add black leather pants and gray boots. Or let's see, instead of adding that, let's just say, but he is wearing black leather pants. Okay, and then we're going to change the aspect ratio this time. And see what we get. There we go. So now we've done this. Okay. So now we can, when we're in the beginning stages of creating our character or our clip art, we can actually, once we get to that point where we've added everything together, then all the different elements to it, you've seen how I progressed and everything, but then you can see that you can go in and then, if you want to get one image and you want it down particularly, like I put glasses on her. I changed her hairstyle. Her hairstyle originally was this. I went in and dressed her using the human stylizer. How cool is that? She started off like this, which is very almost risque. But for an alien, it's more like scales or something. I don't know. The texture is weird, but the shape of the head, the rainbow colored hair with the fringe and everything is really cool. So what we can actually go in and do with this one, since this one is where we can still edit, is we could try to get a version of that alien, now. So we can go into the magic wand, and if we want to attempt to keep this character the same, we can do this. Keep the character the same, but change her hairstyle to. And then we're going to go pop back over here. We're going to go in and grab, let's see, I need to go to this page. And we're going to go down to the everyday styles. And let's see. That's men's. We don't want men's. Let's go to a messy ponytail. And then I'm going to even show you even more so how you can customize. So we're going to say a messy ponytail. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in and we're going to go under the eyes section, which is very strange. And you're going to think I've lost my mind, but we're going to try it because I think it will work. Eyes right here. We're looking for the colors. Eye color. Okay. And then we're going to go all the way down here. Now, these are eye colors, but I want to make her hair this color. So I'm going to choose this deep violet. And we don't need the eyes because, so we're going to choose this deep violet. Go back in here. And then add color right there. So we're going to see if we can edit the prompt and if we can get it to the AI to do that. Sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. So don't hold me to it. I'm going to change the aspect ratio to try to get more. I should have put some clothes on her. Whoops. Okay, so it did not, but it did give us, oh, she's a little risque. So I'm going to remove her. I don't want her on there flagging stuff. Okay. So anyway, let's do this. Let's go back in here. I hate that I didn't copy the prompt before I did it, but we're on a video and I don't want YouTube to throw me off. Okay, so what I should have done is changed it. Okay, so keep this style and image and character. Aha. Okay, I'm going to try a different way to show you to see if we can do it this way. Let's go into the consistent characters and let's go to here. Let's grab that image. We'll grab this one and see what we can do. Keep this character, but change her hairstyle to a messy ponytail in a deep violet color. Let's see what that does. This may be the better place to do that. There we go. We got the deep color, but we didn't get the messy ponytail. So it overrode that. But look at how cool she looks with it changed her eye color and everything to match. So I do like that. So we didn't get that messy ponytail. So let me see. It's not going to let us edit this because, of course, it was one of those. But we do have the prompt that we can copy. So we're going to go back in to the consistent character. Go here. And then now we're going to try to just change her hairstyle to a messy bun or a messy ponytail. Let's see, a messy updo and see how that does. We're trying to overwrite the fact that it was originally built with the hairstyle being a short one. But I like this deep violet color, how that just elevated her completely. There we go. Sort of a double ponytail, not double knots up there, but we did get the different hairstyle. So let's go in and let's try a different hairstyle. Let's go back to the hairstyle 7. And short hair, long hair. I'm going to do this, and we will go back into consistent characters and pick her. And okay, give this character long hair. Soft, let's see, long, soft cascading hair in motion. Isn't this fun? I mean, this is just fun. It's almost not like work. But especially now, Clipart folks, you know, these are going to be some really cool characters that you can come up with. And it's going to give you oh, wow. That's amazing. And we can change her hair color. Again, we could, you know, make it something crazy. We could make it normal. You know, she's just awesome. She's a fun alien monster. How cool is that? So let's go over into volume 2 though now, and now let's change the whole aesthetic. Go back into our fashion, and let's do the fantasy and mythological mermaid. So we're going to try to turn her into a mermaid. So let's see if we can grab this and pop back over. We're going to grab her again because she kind of gives me those weird mermaid vibes too. We're going to go back into the consistent character again. We're not browsing. I hit the wrong thing. We're going to take her and we're going to see what we can do with her. Turn this character into a mermaid. And then we're going to add we're going to take the mermaid couture out of it and just put with flowing scales, iridescent textures, seashell embellishments. Whoops. I did not do that. I'm going to redo that. Let's see. It won't let me just do a redo. So let's go back over here. Ooh, pretty. Look at that. How wild is that? Is that not just amazing? Now we're going to make her longer so we can see more of her. I love the hair for a mermaid, and oh wow, look at the scales and everything. Fabulous. Like I said, the playbooks are they're game changers for anybody that really is interested in design and enjoys designing. And okay, so we're not getting the tail here, but now that's actually that's a whole character in and of itself. You know, if you were going to do a mermaid that could walk on land and everything, I believe we need to go back in and just say that she is going to, let's take her into the human stylizer now. Okay. Turn this character into a mermaid with a beautiful tail. She is sitting on a rock with waves crashing around her. Let's just see what that does. I hope it works. Okay, so we've got, oh, yes, but our tail is not right here. For some reason, our tail is not right. And it's got more like her legs and stuff with sort of a tail on there. So let's see if we can correct that. But it has got our character. She's got a little different expression on. But fabulous. Really, really cool. Okay, so let's go back up. And this is part of the whole thing, is getting it to do a mermaid is not the easiest thing. Let's go back. Let's see if we've got something in particular that we could do. Let's see, mermaid. Pearlescent. Okay, let's see what other references. Mermaids. Couture. So most of that is just couture. So let's try this one. Okay, let's see here. Let's see if we can change the aspect ratio a little bit. See if that helps. It's all about the wording, and sometimes I just don't have the right words. Since we're converting and not prompting from the beginning, that does offer a little bit of a challenge. But oh my gosh, look at these girls, these mermaids. Okay, we're getting a little bit closer. For some reason, there's a little bit of a, well, down here is correct, so I don't know. Maybe I need to not have her sitting. Let's try that. Let's just say swimming, floating. Or not reference it. Okay, so let's see. This one's the closest. Floating in a beautiful undersea scene. I want this to be that. Let's see if her tail is better. That's a little bit better. We're going to move on to another thing, but anyway, this is, yeah, I believe that if I work with it, I can get her into full. I don't know why it looks like her legs are underneath, like she's in a costume. So, but anyway, so many different characters that we can work with. So let's go back down and look at one of the others that I have done. So this is a really cute one that I did, and I actually went in and had him using the consistent characters. I put him in different poses as well. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm actually going to take that prompt for that particular, which is this one. I'm going to grab this prompt and we're going to use it somewhere else. Okay. We're going to take it up into the Design Assist, the Clipart feature where you can do multiples and just see what we get. Because this is going to probably give us a variation using these parameters. Let's just do 4 images and we can do them like this and see what kind of variations we get from that. Now I don't have watercolor in there, so I don't have a lot about those style parameters set. So we're just going to be surprised at what that prompt is going to get us from over here, which is also a different way to kind of work with prompts to see, how they go in different generators, which I love to do. While that's doing, let me go back down here. Oh, look, we've got some really cute little monsters and they all have the little shaggy hair, but they're different colors. So it's not the one that we did, but it did create some really cool images just in the different generator and the way it interpreted our prompt to start with. So we got the basis of what we wanted. We got the rounded head. We got the shaggy hair. And we got the crossed arms. So that's really cool. So we can do the same thing. We can take another one of the ones that I created. Let's see. That was a human stylizer thing, but let's find one of the others that I had done. And like this one. I'm doing the progression ones because those are just slightly a little bit different. So let's go back up here, go to Clipart, paste our little prompt in. Let's do 4 of that one. And one of the things that I do a lot of times is just have a fun design day. And, design days really free your mind up to do nothing but design the art. And then, like the next day, you can go in and start processing that art into packages. It's always a good thing if you're going to be creating to go ahead and file them in folders and stuff like that. Maybe go ahead and download the raw images and always tag those with their raw and where you created them. Like if you create with Midjourney or you create with Artistly, then you want to tag where you created it so that gives you some reference. And then you can work from them by doing your upscaling and your, conversion and removing backgrounds and stuff like that. Okay, so here's some. Now we've got different expressions. Now see, all of these could literally go into the same pack of little monsters. How cute. We're going to go back to our designs. And we're going to go to the next one, this one. And let me grab my prompt for it. But see, all of them, they're similar enough in, these have arms crossed. These have little grins, okay? So in this next one is going to be a little bit different than that. But still relatively quickly, we did our designs, and got our designs down. But this design aspect of it to me is just a cool way to do it. And in the long run, it's going to save you time, because then you're going to end up with multiple packs kind of, within a day or so of each other. And then that'll give you some that you can schedule, once you get them all done, then you can just schedule several of them together at one time. And it's kind of like this. If you do a pack or so a day, every day you're going to be having to do that. Okay, right? So if you even take a break, or you just get, let's say, work really hard and get 2 sets or 3 sets where that you can just get ahead of the game. Oh, look at these. And again, they can all go into the same thing. But we have got a pack now of 12. They're really cool. I like them. I like the little cute little monsters. And they all have really good personality. And yes, can you just, do one, and then you could. Let's go over into the image design. Let's go into the artistic designer, and we're going to try that last prompt in it and just see what we get. Because like I said, every generator is going to give you a little bit different result. So let's just see what this one does. Now these should be really easy to, and I didn't mention that they're watercolor or anything like that. I just let them come out the way that they came out. But you can get down to using the Playbooks. You can get down to refining that even more with your style and color. We can change that up a little bit by going in, and as soon as I get this artistic one done, let me just go ahead and find what I want to do. Let's see, 6. Okay, let's go to whimsical, and let's just do whimsical fantasy creatures. I'm going to copy that. Artistic always just takes more time. There we go. So I didn't do, now isn't that cute though? That is a super cute artistic. So now let's go in and add to that one. In the front, we're going to say watercolor. Actually, I'll go back in just a second and do that. So here we're going to add whimsical fantasy creatures, dreamlike, enchanted, and quirky character design. Okay, and then I'm going to go back here and to here, and we're going to do the storybook. Let's see, is there a storybook? Illustrative storybook right here. This watercolor, we're going to go and put it at the beginning. So we're going to change up the style just a little bit, and we're going to let that percolate just a minute. But he's a cute character too. So you can see that once you get those prompts down, then you can create just so many different variations of that using the different generators. And likewise, we can go in here, we can paste. That's not what I wanted. Let's go back to this one. Let's just see if that's, we'll just wait and try to do it on the other one. Grab this one. This one will probably show up now. Nope. Okay. It's going to take it a second. Let's go to the Clipart under the AI Illustrator. Or the artist. Yes, AI Illustrator. I was right. And then... Oh, look how cool that is. I like that monster. See, that's got your watercolor elements and it's the storybook. So this would be really cool for a kid's storybook. And then here we've got this one that was done under the clip art. We can regenerate it and go in here to this and add it in at the beginning and see what a difference that makes. But you see, you can definitely use this playbook with all the little elements. And then you can use volume 2 as well to like dress them into different outfits and stuff like that. Okay. So that was when we changed it up to the illustrative fairy tale storybook, whatever it was. But I like this one. I think this one would be something really, to me, this looks like a kid's storybook about emotions or something. If you could gradually figure out how to merge this character into a happier character, along the way. Like, this is sort of a sad looking face. So let's see if we could, let's try that. I like this one. So let's try it under the, okay, we're going to grab that one. There it is. So let's try the emotions. Let's go in here and get some emotions going on. Let's see. Language, body type, communicating posture, hands, expression. Okay. Emotional words. Let's do this. Let's see. Gentle and peaceful. Let's say playful warmth and a cheerful mood. Let's just try that and see if that gets us what we want. Okay. Let's make sure. Okay. Let's try that out. Because I can see this in a storybook for sure. But it would be really cute to do. Okay, so my problem is I love that it changed him. I do. But because he's shorter and fatter, because I didn't keep it the same aspect ratio. So let me copy this and see if we can get the same elongated little monster that we have here. If I can just leave it the way, because I changed the aspect ratio instead of just leaving it as the default. So we're going to go back in here, but that is definitely the expression that would make it really cool to use in a storybook or something if we could change the poses and things like that. So we're going to leave it in the default and hope that it comes out the same aspect ratio. Yes, the original aspect ratio. And hopefully it will have the same or a cool. Yes. There we go. There's our expression. And I mean, it's kind of jumping up, which is kind of cool. It's kind of sad there, but you can tell they're close enough in the way that is. So now let's go back in and let's change it even more. Okay. So let's just say we're working towards having, so sorrow. Let's find let's do wistful sadness and try that. So we're going to go back into the human stylizer. We're going to choose, well, we're going to go back to our original one. And then we're going to say, give this character a wistful sadness. And then let's do another one. I don't know. Sometimes it has trouble with 2 commands, but I'm going to try anyway. We're going to go back here, go to 7. And we're going to go to the posture types. Let's see. Arms folded. Let's see. Fingers laced, gaze downward. Quiet contemplation would be a good combination for that. And y'all, we doing monsters, right? It's very funny. We're going to leave the default to keep that size right, but let's see if we can get, we've gotten the happy expression. This is actually kind of a sad expression, but we're trying to, oh my gosh, y'all. I'm in love with this character. Oh my gosh, that is perfect. That is so perfect. Oh my goodness, y'all. Really. If you have any doubts about my playbook, then they should be just kind of shattered now, because this is how you can, if you want to do storybooks, this is how you're going to be able to do storybook characters so much better. That human stylizer to me is just as good as that consistent character feature. The consistent character feature, um, you can use them all, together, but the human stylizer definitely allows you to get things together and, work scenes together. So I'm going to go in and actually, with this character, our original character, I'm going to attempt to do 2 characters basically. So we're going to go to here. Let's see, and put 2 shaggy alien monsters and just see what we get. I'm just curious if it'll give us 2 monsters. But this, oh my gosh, y'all may see a storybook written specifically for these characters now. I definitely may be doing that. So do not be using my prompt on those. But you can go in and make your own. Aren't they so cool? Sounds like we may be getting our puppy maybe. Let's see. This is my last thing. I think I've gone through it and shown you a great tutorial. I don't want it to be super long. I think I'm under an hour now. But I did want to pop in, and I just wanted to see if I could get to. Oh, I did get to. They're not the same, they're not the same 2. I mean, they're not this one, but they go right along with it. So I could use these as friends to this one or something in the same storybook. How absolutely cool is that? How game changing is that? And let's think about an application for this. And these sort of characters could be used for posters for teachers with different expressions like sadness and stuff. I mean, they get a lot of attention. You know, I may do a book on emotions. You know, I'll tell a little story about when our twin grandbabies were really young and just kind of learning and everything. And I was trying to teach them emotions and, you know, like happy, sad, angry. And still to this day, one of the twins, when he gets really angry, he kind of holds his fist and he kind of shakes a little bit and kind of does an angry face. And I'm almost hesitant to admit this, but it dawned on me that that is a carryover from me trying to teach him emotions when he was little because that's what I did. I was like angry and I would do my fist and I would go "Arr," like that. And now when he does it at 5 years old, you know, I was like, where did he get that from? And then it dawned on me one day. Hmm. I guess I taught him emotions a little too good, but like that's how he would express that he was angry. So anyway, we're working on that, but it's kind of interesting how children do things. But this would be, you know, a great exercise in different ways that you can use this clip art, you know, do a pack for teachers, perhaps, you know, using not necessarily monsters. You could use little kids, but by being able to give them the personalities and the emotions, to me, these go beyond just doing a clip. I've done like these quirky clip art things in the past, but I never specifically addressed their emotion, you know, not in a big way. Like, you know, I might say sad, but, you know, if you just say sad, you're probably going to get a different kind of look because you're going to get the interpretation of the actual AI and you're not going to have as much control over what your end result is. And just as far as really creating a character, there's a difference between creating clip art and like a character. You know, clip art is somewhat one dimensional, whereas these are emotionally multidimensional, if that even makes sense. I think I'm coining a totally new phrase, but any number of these cute little images, these aliens and these monsters, you know, any one of these could be the jumping off point for a totally different project, you know, whatever you wanted to do. But anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial and that you will be sure and subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, then subscribe. Go out and invite all of your creator friends because they need to be watching these videos too. And you can share because I always teach for us all to use our own creative power, so we're not after like, you know, everybody's going to interpret and bring something new to the equation. That's the way it should be. That's the only way I believe that we as AI artists and digital product creators are going to continue to have a business in this rapidly growing and emerging technology of AI. And I'm trying to stay on top of that so that we can all stay above the curve and, you know, be on the top of the wave and ride that wave. But at the same time, we need to be mindful of how fast things are changing, how the tools are changing. Canva just made an announcement yesterday, and of course we're on 10/31 of 25. They made an announcement yesterday with all of these new technologies and stuff. And if you're in this space, this digital product creation space, know that we have to constantly be thinking and staying ahead and be mindful of all these changes because the more that they change the tools, then the more it changes our market, because there will be certain people that will learn those skills and do certain things on their own. There is always going to be those people that can create faster with other people's art, but there are going to be people that are going to be just like us, and they're all going to be they're probably new folks that have just come into this space and they're just learning the market now. It's just like competition with any other business. We just have to be smart business people and always be looking at the way that the one thing that is different between us using AI and everybody else using AI, like me using AI and you using AI, is that I'm me. So the way I use AI is going to be individual to me, because I choose not to just go in and let AI do all the heavy lifting and just, type in. Like I said, I started with a very, very basic prompt in this exercise, this one. And I'm going to tell you what it reminds me. This particular image reminds me of that Where the Wild Things Are or something. I can't remember now the book, but anyway, it was kind of a scary book and it had this monster on the front. And this is very much that look to me. It's probably not one of those characters, but it is very familiar. Another thing that is going to happen with AI is they're trained on particular images. And so a lot of times, if we don't make those changes, if we don't force those changes to them, we're going to be getting those one-dimensional things that look like everybody else's. They might not be identical to it, but there's not going to be enough difference for you to stand out when people are scrolling Etsy or they're scrolling Gumroad or whatever. We need things and to look at things that are going to set us apart. Now, let me talk to you as storybook creators now, because this is a thing. You have a lot of tools inside of Artistly, and you can choose to go the path of the easiest and least resistance. But eventually, the competition in that market is going to require you to rise up and figure out how to merge the two of the traditional way that you storytell and the traditional type of art in style wise, and the the more automated process that Artistly allows you to have. I mean, if you want the AI to write your storybook, you can write a storybook with the AI, but that is really the AI's storybook. It is not yours. Now they do have features now where you can bring in your own script. That's what I suggest, because I just know that I know how highly competitive the book market is. I did that way before I did any AI art. And so I know that business. I know that the pushback within that community. I talked a little about this yesterday in my video, and I am planning to do more for all of you that are writing books and you are embracing this technology and you want to write books, so that I can help you do that in a way that will be more profitable to you. Because one thing I know for sure is that, just like what I tell my all the Clipart and the other digital product creators, it doesn't matter how good your product is. If people can't find you, then you're not going to sell anything. So that is just as important when you're doing books. Very important when you're doing books. So you need to check off all the boxes to do as many things right as you can, because the industries are all filled at this point, and we need the spotlight to shine on you. So my whole philosophy with doing my videos and everything like that is to help you identify your strengths And I want you to be the best that you can. So I'm off my soapbox now and I'm ready to get going with the rest of the day. And thank you for watching the video. Until next time, be sure and check out the new AI artist playbook, mastering character creation, body language, and emotion. I am in my launch week still. Now, this is 10/31/25, so it will run through November 3rd of 2025. If you're watching this at a later date, the information is still correct, other than the launch surprises. So I've got lots of contests. If you're not a member of my group, hurry and run over there. Take advantage of some of the contests. I've been giving away prizes, and I have a grand prize that you can win as well. And sorry, potential spam. Everybody gets it, right? So anyway, I have a contest. It's a grand prize is a 1 hour session with me. We can go through your AI art. We can go through work. You can ask me questions about what to do with Artistly. As far as I have a question about this feature, what can I do? What do you think I can do with this? We can use it for your Etsy store. I can go in and I can look at that. It's going to be a Zoom so that you can actually see my screen. And so it'll be a 1 hour one-on-one session with someone that I'm going to be giving away. So you still have time to enter that. You get multiple different ways that you can earn entries for that. The main one being you buy the playbook this week. Like I said, the launch week ends on Monday, November 3rd. It's going to run through there. And so be sure and join my Facebook group. All my links are down in the description. All my affiliate links for Artistly, for Pixel Cut, for all the different things. Also links to my Gumroad store, which is if you're in the EU, you do have to buy through Gumroad. But I have a special of 50% off for the new playbook. And you can use Summer 50 as the discount code when it asks for the coupon code. That's what you use. That's also down in the description, as well as a link to my Etsy store. So anyway, have a great day. Thanks for watching. And until next time, happy creating.